go. There you are. I thought for sure you were going to have the Times Square in the background somewhere just to really just juice us here.
No, I wouldn't do that to you. I'm trying to get centered here.
Gonna move to your right. There you go. Yeah. There you go.
Your broadcast right to left. By the way, Can I ask a question about that? You radio people, do you find, is there merit in a broadcaster saying, okay, we're starting tonight from my broadcast left to right, wearing red, white, and teal, blah, blah, blah. Do people care or really do picture left to right when they're listening on the radio?
That is a question that I've asked because it was about, I want to say the late 90s that I started hearing that. And moving from abroad, and I was like, and now everybody seems to do it. I could give a rip.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Oh, no, me too. But as far as, I don't know if I have an opinion on it, but everybody does it now. Doesn't matter the sport.
They do.
I'm like, really? Like, I haven't seen what the Oilers jerseys are like. They're orange, blue, and white. Okay. Yeah.
But it's the left. I know they're trying to paint a picture, left to right. It's not the colors it's from my broadcast left to right. So, okay. So maybe it helps. Maybe people are literally going, okay, as I drive down the highway, I'm like, okay, now I can picture in my mind, they're going to my right. Oh, now they're going to my left. I don't know. Anyway.
Yeah, I love it. I've thought about that. I've thought about that too. I'm like, people. It's just like when they used to say, yeah, if you're scoring at home in baseball, if you're scoring at home, that was what kind of nerd?
Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah.
Who's scoring at home? Colson's wants to. Sorry if I offended you.
No, the one I hear a lot too is left to right on your radio dial.
That's what he's talking about. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like specifically giving the person the perspective. Yeah. I hear it all the time around here. So yeah, it's everywhere.
Well, at least we know.
What's St. Patrick's Day like in New York? Like, what's the plan here? I know you got a big hockey game to go to, but you did pack something green. It's New York.
Oh, God.
There's something going on every night there.
Oh yeah, I literally just raced into my hotel, coming through the Holland Tunnel here and all this stuff, and I got here with minutes to spare, so all good. But so you go by several restaurants, bars, you can see people are into it. My hotel lobby is just brimming right now. I'm the boys that I'm meeting for later. Suffice it to say, there's a lot going on, and I will be partaking in all of it. So you mentioned that there's a game tomorrow, but this is the best case scenario for a broadcaster writer because they're playing tonight in Toronto. I decided to skip that and come straight to New York as a veteran would.
Nice.
And I'll keep an eye on the game, maybe. But there's no morning skate here in Manhattan tomorrow for the Rangers game. So that means I don't have to get up early to meet the boys. So I just show up at the rink at 5 o'clock. This is the perfect scenario. Yeah.
On 47th Street, 266 47th Street to be exact, a nice little place called the Mean Fiddler. It'll be buzzing. It'll be buzzing tonight.
Yeah, I bet there's going to be a number of places. One of the players has a friend who owns a bar that I'm heading to as soon as we finish talking. So make it quick.
All right.
This is a business.
Okay. We'll get down to it. So a brilliant veteran move, like you said. So you skip flying to Pearson International Airport in Toronto, which is a disaster. Worst airport pretty much anywhere. Flames play the Leafs tonight. Eric, let's go back to Friday. Colorado wins, but it wasn't the Colorado we all expected, the high-flying McKinnon show and all of that. It was some of the lesser lights. The Canucks win on the weekend. They seem to be getting it together. I think, and I'd love to want to get your thoughts, did the Calgary Flames season end this past weekend, especially if they don't win tonight, that the playoff hopes are done?
Oh, I'm not going to go that far, but I will say that there's certainly an air in the city that this could be the end, like this road trip, and not that it's a murderer's row. I mean, obviously Toronto's a tough place to win. And then you got a back-to-back in New York. The Rangers are middle of the pack. Islanders are no big threat. Even Jersey right now is sinking like a rock. So it's not the toughest opponents, but it's tough to be on the road anywhere, especially in New York. And it just feels like the Flames, like you woke up this morning as a Flames fan and you saw that you're now officially on the outside looking in. You got games in hand on everybody, but you're not just the next team in line. There's a couple ahead of you now. And Utah's right there now. St. Louis is right there. It's a 4-horse. Well, it's a 3 or 4 horse race for one spot. And I don't like those odds ever, and I definitely don't like those odds when you're spending a lot of your remaining games on the road, and you're a team that hasn't been there and done it before. So, it's an uphill climb for sure for the Flames. But I'm not at the point now with 18 games left to say if they lose tonight, it's over. That's a little much for me. But you got to start stringing together. I think they're 500 over their last 10 games. That's not going to cut it from now to the end.
Regina Pat fans, Moose Jaw Warrior fans. Dryden Hunt was called up with the team. He's making the trip. He's with them for this roadie.
Yeah, he's on the fourth line tonight. They brought him up because he's been in the league. He's played in several different cities, and he's versatile. So they didn't want to call up a young kid. It's too late for that sort of experiment now. Now it's bringing a veteran who is not going to be lost in the moment. And I was happy to see him. He's a good guy, so I'm happy to welcome him back.
Man, that year that him and Point, did they light it up in Moose Jaw, points-wise? It was like they were playing adult safe hockey every night. Like it was just point night, point night, point night. But Estevan's Braden Pahal has been getting benched. Like scapegoat? What? Like maybe I'm not watching close enough.
The coach referred to it as puck management. Like he just thinks he needs to be a little bit better getting the puck out of his own zone. Like he wasn't born with gifted hands. I mean, he's here because he's a lunch pail type of guy. He's the biggest hitter on the Flames. He hits more than anybody. He hits harder than anybody. And they love him as a rock, as their number 6 defenseman. They've loved him all year. So it's pretty surprising about a week ago when he first found himself being a healthy scratch. And then the fact that it's happened a couple times since, or once more since, like, I'm a little surprised. But I think they're just trying to send the message, look, we have options. We need more out of you. And so I would expect him to come in, and I'll bet you over the course of the next 3 or 4 games on the road here, if he's in, I know he's in tonight, you'll see him throw some pretty big hits and, reestablish himself as that number 6 guy. I think he's invaluable to this team and to the identity that they want to have.
Well, you'd mentioned defensemen, and the thing is, Mackenzie Weegar is playing 25, 26, 27 minutes a game. Nothing against Mackenzie Weegar, but if the Flames don't have anybody else that they can throw, it's too much. And by the third period, they're worn down, and said McCall's getting benched, and you've got some other liabilities out there. Is that a formula for success when they got to play Weegar that much?
Well, I think he's their best defenseman, so I'm going to defend him that way. Like, he's their best defenseman, and I think this team, this organization went into the season knowing they've got 2 guys who are bona fide, everyday NHLers, and the rest are question marks. Well, Kevin Ball's come in, and he's not a question mark anymore. He's playing on the top line. He's been phenomenal. So you got 3 guys you can lean on heavily. The other 3 are rotating, moving parts. The likes of Joel Hanley, the likes of Braden Pahal, Jake Bean. We even saw Tyson Barrie in there for spurts. Danil Marimanov. Like, these are guys who are not everyday NHLers on a lot of teams in the NHL. Yet, at the end of the day, guys, they're in last place in scoring in the league, and they still hold a playoff spot. So they've done it with great defense. So even though they're no names, you got to give this team credit for playing some of the better defense in the National Hockey League. We know that the goaltending's had a huge say in all this, but the defense deserves some credit too, even though a lot of them were big questions coming into the season.
Maz is buying a lot of Vancouver Canuck stock. Over the last hour and a bit of the show here. I still don't think that they're going to run away with it. I'd obviously like to see Calgary scrap their way in. I still think St. Louis, schedule-wise, Who's got the sketchiest schedule?
I think the Flames do. I think they have the hardest schedule of all those teams. I saw that, that's that strength of schedule thing there. And I'm just thinking even the home games they've got coming down the stretch. Yeah, there are some Anaheims in there. There's some San Jose's in there. Some, somewhat easier games. But I know that Vegas comes visiting twice at the latter half of the season in the Dome. Those are almost automatic losses for the Flames. I'm with you. The smart money to me is on St. Louis. Not only, I think, are they the better team out of the four, and there's a lot of guys still on that roster who know how to get it done, from their cup years, including their goalie. But also, I just think they have the most momentum right now. They've come from the farthest back and now find themselves in a real nice spot. My money's on St. Louis if I got to put it somewhere, that's for sure.
The last time you and I were putting money on someone together, though, it didn't work out that well.
Well, the last time I bet with you, it didn't work out well for me. I still owe you a case of So, yeah. Anyway, there's that.
So the Leafs lose to Ottawa on the weekend. It was, Twitter was melting down. Besides the Jelly Roll concert in Saskatoon and Regina, Twitter was melting down because the Leafs lost to the Ottawa Senators. Overall, Leafs played decent hockey. Austin Matthews obviously isn't having the year that he had last year, but what has he got? 25 goals. Are the Leafs just kind of happy to be just kind of simmering in the weeds? No expectations, no President's Trophy they're flirting with. Just kind of
Ottawa's going to catch them.
Huh?
Wow. First of all, I got to tell you guys something funny. I was on Toronto radio this morning, and I don't think they asked me a question about Calgary. How very Toronto is that? Like they asked me only about Austin Matthews. Is he injured or is he just having a bad season? What do you think it is? What are you hearing?
Shouldn't they know that? They're in Toronto.
Why are you asking me about Austin Matthews? That's always something that is another radio phenomenon that I can't figure out.
Did they say we're talking from our radio dial left to right?
Yeah. Unbelievable, right? Like just so, yeah, the sky's falling there. But all I kind of said, I'm like, it's almost like they brought me on to calm everybody down. Like I didn't know that was my role. I didn't get up early to do that. But I said, like, does it really matter? Like, haven't you guys seen this for the last 7, 8, 9 years? Like, the Leafs are good. They're actually really good during the regular season. They are still really good. Does it matter if they finish first, second, or third in their division? Who cares? None of it matters as long as these guys start to maybe pick it up with the last 5 or 6 games. You're 20 games out. Who cares about these games for the next 10? They're big games for Ottawa. That was a huge game for Ottawa. Ottawa's rolling right now, and I think they're proving that they're going to be that team that gets into that final spot in the East. And I think it's on tremendous merit. They finally found that goalie that's going to put them over the top. And they've got depth. And now they have momentum. But as far as the Leafs go, okay, I think they lost 5 of 6. I didn't know any of this until they told me all this on the radio this morning. And I got news for Toronto. Nobody else cares. Like, nobody else cares about your stupid Leafs. And yeah, they're in a tailspin right now, but we've seen that a million times before. Is Austin Matthews injured? Probably. Or is he just having a bad spell? Well, guess what? By the time the playoffs come along, A, I bet he'll be healthy, and B, he'll be better. So stop worrying.
Talk to us about the goaltending in Toronto. Just kidding. Ottawa, one of the hottest teams in the National Hockey League. Like, really flying under the radar. They've won 6 in a row. Only Carolina, who's won 7 in a row. I don't mind that as a feel-good story.
Hey, look, how many years, guys, have you started this season going, well, one of them is going to break through. Is it going to be Detroit, Buffalo, or Ottawa? They're all on the cusp of breaking through. And who's going to do it, and how many of them are going to do it? Well, the last 3 or 4 years, when everybody said that, they're 0 for 12, right? So nobody's made it. This is the year that Ottawa makes it. And I've thought that all year long. Brady Tkachuk is one of the best leaders in the National Hockey League. There's zero question about that. The guy's a unicorn. We saw it at the Four Nations tournament. He's not even healthy right now, and he's absolutely carrying that team on his back. He's got lots of help. They've got depth. I love the ads at the trade deadline. But at the end of the day, it's all about Linus Ullmark. He has found his groove. He's back in that Vezina form over the last handful of games. He's going to almost single-handedly carry them into the playoffs. I don't know how far they can go. It's their first time in years. But, yeah, feel-good story. You damn right it is. They've gone through hell with ownership issues. They've gone through hell with all sorts of injuries. Josh Norris, who was like, they had such high expectations, always injured. They finally just traded him and got rid of it. I love it. I'll be cheering for him, especially if they play the Leafs. My God, the whole country would.
The fans hate their barn. It's like way out in the boonies.
It's a terrible barn.
Yeah.
The worst in the league.
Speaking of disaster, and you mentioned Buffalo won their Stanley Cup on the weekend because Jack Eichel came to town. They got a chance to boo him. And then on a dumb play by Nico Sturm, who has a chance at an empty netter to give Vegas a 4-2 win, tries to pass to Eichel, gets broken up. Buffalo eventually scores, wins the game in overtime, and they get a chance to boo Eichel again. So it's not all disaster if you're a Sabres fan. You got to boo your most hated. He's the heel of the Sabres. And I'm like, that may never get old. If you're a Buffalo fan, when Eichel comes to town, you're always going to get a chance to go off. I watched part of the Oiler-Ranger game yesterday. It's so funny. Leon Draisaitl, so good. McDavid. But if your management of the Rangers, they've got so much talent and they're just so mid, as the kids call them. Like, for whatever reason, it just is not clicking this year.
Yeah, it's still shocking. They're better lately, but yeah, I'm looking at the standings. Man, is that ever fun to watch on a daily basis, that Eastern race? You squint hard enough, you can picture maybe 4 or 5 different teams squeaking in there. But yeah, that one's been a head scratcher for everyone all year long. Best goalie in the league? Wasn't he supposed to be? Isn't he the best goalie in the league? Well, this year he's not even top 15. Zibanejad disappeared for long stretches of the season. I got him in all my pools. I know, trust me. Trocheck's had a mid-season. There's so much talent there. I'm with you. Even Fox isn't doing what he usually used to do as a former Norris Trophy winner. So, yeah, puzzling to say the least. They have been a lot better of late, and, they're still not giving up on a playoff spot. I'll be fascinated to see how they play tomorrow night here in New York. But, puzzling and, perplexing, because I'm not sure they could really put their finger on why they've been so bad. I still don't have an answer for what the problem was.
I would like to see Montreal sneak in, Ottawa sneak in. I'm not the big Canada Stanley Cup guy. I just like the scrappy teams getting in. Yeah, and then you got Winnipeg, right? Which could this?
Are they going to win it? They're not going to win the cup, are they? No, they're not going to win the cup, are they?
We're going to the parade if they do, just cause.
Yeah.
We get that 24
I thought Saskatchewan
beer.
hated Manitoba.
No, we don't hate anybody.
Yeah.
The Banjo Bowl, isn't that a whole thing?
Yeah, but why would we hate anyone? Like you can't.
Hey,
because no one likes
Eric,
us here.
hold on. In the very first segment of the show, Barney was talking about going out for drinks with your coworker on St. Patrick's Day so you could get into a fist fight with them later. So yes, we do hate people, and you're completely right about the Banjo Bowl. Like, it's so
okay.
Why he's saying that, I don't know. But
Eric.
Gary Bettman won't let Winnipeg win the Stanley Cup. Gary will not let that happen.
You've gone out for drinks on St. Patrick's Day, and there's been people that you've wanted to fight. Let's be honest.
Yeah. It's been 2 or 3 years. I don't do it very regularly now. No, I'm just kidding. It's so funny. There's 2 ways people can go on St. Patty's Day, and 99% of them go like it's the happiest day of the year. They love it. But there's that 1% that are mucking about there, and they're usually the guy. They're usually from Ireland, and they're usually just so pissed off that everybody's pretending to be Irish, and he's like actually Irish. He's pissed off that people are like honoring him for some reason. It really bugs him. He hates the green beer. He wants to smash a green beer in some guy's face because he's drinking the wrong color. Like, it's an Irish guy. It's always an Irish guy. Am I wrong?
No, or it's the guy or girl that went and they've toured Ireland a couple of times, so they think they're Irish. And it's like,
okay, no, and all the other thing too, and on that guy or girl, there's the visible Celtic tattoo somewhere to prove that they are Irish and that they're ready to fight.
Well played.
Like it's either on the neck, on the forearm, maybe a bicep, but it's somewhere that you can see. And it's funny. We were talking about Conor McGregor being the most famous Irish guy. I think they didn't know that back in the day, but they were Conor McGregor because they're ready to throw down at any time.
That's right. I do think, to be fair to that angry Irish guy, someone speaking in a fake Irish accent is a punchable offense.
Yes.
I think it's in the criminal code. You're allowed to punch somebody who puts on a fake Irish accent. I got to double check that, but I think that's the law.
Okay. What can you mark it down in the book, Colson, just in case.
So one of the best, speaking
different
of
in the
old
States.
radio
I don't know
stuff,
what the Constitution says.
Boston, it's okay.
So speaking of old radio stuff, I remember it was a St. Patrick's Day, working at a radio station, and we had a guy on staff. His name was Pat Laporte. He was Irish, and he had red hair and everything. So for St. Patrick's Day, we took him out, and the whole thing is, if we came to your bar or restaurant, he was like the leprechaun, and we dressed him up. He would pay your bill. This thing was a hit. This was a runaway hit. Yeah, like if he came up to your table, blah, 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 happy St. Patrick's Day, and it like full on, he had long red hair, and it's funny, you could get even drunker.
Pat,
and
what's Patty doing today?
He does all the sound effects for radio stations. He's a pretty good, he's an awesome dude. Drives a Dodge Charger, and he's not afraid to muck it up. So, speaking of Irish guys not afraid to muck it up, not from Ireland, I think he's from Ponoka or something, Ponoka, Alberta, but not afraid to muck it up.
Yeah, Ponoka. You see those guys at the all-inclusives all the time. Yeah. Barbed wire. You're
messing with the wrong people that bring their own refillable cups to the all-inclusive vacations that they're on.
Yeah.
With their own plastic cups from home.
Good call. Good call. The big super gulp monster ones. Yeah. And it says something on there like, "Kiss me, I'm Irish," or "I like to party," or "Who farted," or
dine
something.
me.
Just something really ridiculous.
And then just putting their big Canada towels. They want everyone to know. Okay, so here's the question I asked Maz at the beginning. It's what
those guys are usually from Quebec, just so you know, too. They're wearing the Speedos and everything.
They smoke upside down and they have their socks on. Okay,
let's divide our country with all this commentary.
Very first time at an all-inclusive, I didn't realize the resort we're at had a bunch of French people at it, and what Eric just said there, 100% bang on. It was like, okay, we will be over here avoiding you. Oh, yes, they did.
I just saw it firsthand in Mexico like 3 weeks ago, and it's like it's not a meme. You wish it was, but it happens. It actually happened. And I was flying out of Montreal to go straight to Puerto Vallarta. So, of course, my plane is filled with them. And they all wanted to get that head start, let me tell you. I guess I wanted to fight that fight too, sure.
What's the famous Irish athlete? When I asked Maz at the beginning of the show, when you think famous Irish athletes, who do you think? You're going to say the same guy as me, I think.
Jackie Stewart?
No.
From the Canadian Tire commercials. If you're under 40, you do have no idea what that reference is even about.
I thought you would say Rory McIlroy. That's what
yeah, sure, yeah. I guess our golfers, athletes. That's next week's show. Like we're gonna debate our golfers, athletes. Christ, I mean, I don't know.
Okay.
Hey, listen, I got to tell you, I was in Ireland last summer for a boys' golf trip, one of the best trips ever, and I got the chance to go out. I wanted to see hurley. You know the hurley? You know what I'm talking about? Hurley. You know what that sport is?
Yeah.
They got
Isn't that when
basically
they throw
a mallet. No, it's like a mallet, and it's kind of like lacrosse, but it's rougher and more ridiculous. But anyway, the national championships were on, and the team that lost, we ended up in the same bar as them that night in Dublin. And I have never been so fascinated to talk to athletes in my life. Like, that is, just Google it and look at it. It's pretty rough.
You got us to Google this before. Remember this? Like months ago. It was like Hurley.
Did I?
Yeah, it was really cool.
Hurley.
And I'm like, yeah, it's
anyway,
popper. Okay, well, go have fun. Get right after it tonight. Get some sort of Celtic tattoo. And then you don't owe me the beer. You show me a picture of something.
Okay, a permanent tattoo, and I'm out of it. I saved $30. Yeah. That's worth it. Yeah, that's worth it. I'll do it.
Yeah. Then text your wife right after with a picture of it.
Yeah. Kiss me, I'm Irish or something. I'll get something real clever on my arm. That'll be great. Thanks, boys.
See you later. Our NHL insider.
Top of the evening to you.
There's the accent. Just do that all night.
Yeah,
do that all night.
Yeah. I'll be punched right out. See you, boys.